You better have that Zambuca milkshake ready. Here comes Mr. Rock and Roll Detective. Hey, Ford!
What's going on? Harry, shake me.
I hope you like it, Ford.
Precocious, combustionable. Harry, not thick enough. But you're getting better.
Regular
Kids!
What?
Stuff.
What's your problem?
Hit pay dirt with K Dirt. This is Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. I am Magnum Mills. I am with the Soup Deucer. We're going to be talking about the stuff we've been watching, and our featured review for this episode is a 1990 classic, Ford Fairlane, starring the one, the only Andrew Dice Clay. Soup, to this day, I think I'm going to make it a thing now. You get potential spam calls all the time, right? You know, Dice didn't have to deal with those when he's getting calls on his clear telephone. We have to deal with it now. So I think I'm just going to start answering them all. Hit pay dirt with K Dirt, because why the hell not, right?
I love that, man. That's a great idea. I usually just don't answer them, but here we are talking about Fort Fairlane, man. Going for the old Dice Man. The Dice Man cometh, dude. So I'm gonna be hanging out with my prop cigarette the entire time here because that's what Dice would do.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And 1-800, that was the thing back in the day. People did call 800 numbers and pay all sorts of random crazy money, like $3 a minute or something for video game tips or random celebrity whatnot. And yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they also had the 900 numbers,
Yeah,
man.
that was another level. I think you had to put a credit card up front. I think with the
I think
800
you
numbers,
did.
you could at least pump a bunch of quarters into the payphone. So that's how you had to check that out back in the day. Luckily, you don't have to do any of that to check out Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can check us out on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Thanks for checking out the show. We're on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff and on the World Wide Web at dudeswatchstuff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please remember to touch the thumb. Before we get started, we need to get into the questions 3.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
3 questions. What have you got a question wrong? Then you are cast into the gorge of eternal peril.
Ask me the questions. I am not afraid.
And we shall watch and pray.
Soup, it's just the two of us this week. One of us has to write the questions, so I think we're going to have an opinion-based thing. So as long as you have an opinion, you get a sponge. We like that, right? It's nice and easy. A good way to get into the show. So we're going to start out question 1. Outside of his comedy albums, his specials, and Ford Fairlane, what's your favorite thing from Andrew Dice Clay? It's probably the comedy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with the show, like the show that he was in, you know. But I'm trying to think, like everything else is kind of like a smaller little cameo kind of thing. I don't know if he really was in it. What else was he? I don't know, man. I can't really think.
He was
of
in
one
some
off the
other
top.
things. He was in the Woody Allen flick. You know, he's had a bunch of supporting roles. I guess I would say, honestly, if you really drill down into it, the best thing is the nursery rhymes, right? I think that's kind of what Dice is known
Well,
for
yeah, but
most
that's
at
part
this
of his,
point.
yeah,
Right. And
that's kind of his
so I'm
comedy act,
saying,
yeah.
yeah, if we're being real, that would be the thing. If you want to go super random, go late career Dangerfield, My Five Wives, the polygamy joint randomly. Dice plays a mob boss in that one. It's really late career
Oh,
Dangerfield.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of weak, but it's fun. He's got a little bit of a meatier role in that one. I think you are right. The show is probably the best, but that may or may not be my sterling suggestion. So trying to keep that one in the back pocket. But for the most part, I think he's done a pretty good job. He's had an interesting career doing some cameos and stuff like that. But I think to me, it's still, you know, the comedy in Ford Fairlane that stand out the most. So, you know, it's nice to
Yeah.
dig deeper, but, you know, those are still, I think, the shining stars of Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, this movie is just so close to like, you know, his comedy and what I knew of him anyway, you know. So, um, yeah, just what I mean, obviously Ford Fairlane would be his best work, I think, other than his, you know, legendary comedy shit.
Right, until somebody, makes him, he does the late career thing, brings him back to centerpiece very unexpectedly. So let's save that. How about let's shout out the director here. Question two: Ford Fairlane is directed by Rennie Harlan. He's done a bunch of stuff. He did the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Master. He did Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Deep Blue Sea, Mine Hunters, amongst a bunch of others. Soup, do you have a favorite amongst Rennie Harley flicks other than this one?
I mean, I feel like the best out of what I saw on his resume there was probably Die Hard 2. I mean, I love all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but Die Hard 2's got to be the best of the bunch there. I mean, Cliffhanger was a really well-known movie, but I think Mindhunter probably was too. Cliffhanger was a big deal. I still remember the preview when it came out.
Yeah, I like his. He went on a run there in the '90s. I like all of those flicks. Like Deep Blue Sea is kind of. It's not quite so bad. It's good, but it's in that level. You get the famous Samuel L. Jackson speech getting bit by a shark.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
right. I
Michael
was trying to.
Rappaport,
Yeah.
like that one is cheesing it up. Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis, like doing basically
That
the
was a
Born
pretty good
Identity
movie.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a Shane Black script. That's also very good. You're right. Die Hard 2 is probably the one that I revisit the most just because I'll watch it with the other Die Hards and at Christmas. So
Mhm.
that kind of gets pumped up a little bit. I would probably just go with Cliffhanger because that one is uniquely it's a unique movie, basically. There's nothing like Cliffhanger. It's not really based on anything. It's not peak Stallone, but you get a great supporting cast going in there. I mean, that's great. John Lithgow just tearing it up. Kind of a bunch of excellent side actors. Our guy Michael Rooker, who's been in just about everything over the years. It's a great role for him. And it's kind of tense. Again, I like individually. I remember the one scene, minor spoilers for Cliffhanger, where they have to burn like, a couple $1 million to stay alive. I don't know,
Yeah.
Soup. I might chance dying. I don't know. Maybe I would just cover
Right.
myself in the money and take my
I don't know if we've
chances.
gotten that far yet. We know we got to hold off a little bit longer here.
Yeah, Lithgow is great in that. So yeah, Cliffhanger, but Ray Harlan definitely done some good stuff. And this will be a fun one, Soup. Third question here. If he was going to have that late career renaissance, if Andrew Dice Clay was going to star in a Quentin Tarantino movie, what would his role be?
Tarantino would be the director to go for if that would be the direction to go if you wanted to jumpstart your or whatever kickstart your career back into action, man. What kind of character would he be? Shit, man. I could see it depends on the movie
Right,
Tarantino's
he could
doing.
be a version of himself. He could be almost anything, I think.
I'd want him to be kind of himself. I mean, I don't want him to be like Ford Fairlane though either. I think if he was playing, I go right to Hitman right away because I could see him hanging out with Travolta and Sam Jackson like in a role like that. I could see him in Reservoir Dogs for sure. So something like that maybe. Or I mean, shit, dude. I don't know if I could see him in Kill Bill, but a Western, the Hateful Eight or something like that. He probably could have played a good character in that one. If it's something new, there's no telling what Tarantino is going to do, so I wouldn't know what kind of character role to put him in.
Right, he could be almost anything. Right? I mean, a pawn shop owner, like that kind of thing. But dude, how about Dice is like a crooked judge or a mob lawyer or something?
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see
And a
that.
Tarantino, if he went a little bit kind of like a little gangsterist or something, like a Hollywood lawyer or something, maybe like that. I can see Dice being really good at that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, would bartender be a little much? Maybe like maybe Dice being like someone who did run like a restaurant, like a mobbed up guy running restaurants or something, a little like Artie Bucco in The
I could see him like
Sopranos, more of an
like a
edge.
casino owner if he owns a casino or something. I don't know if he's a bartender, but like I could see him owning
Yeah, he works
owning a
good as like a
joint
bookie, dude.
or a
Bookie or
strip
low
joint or
level mob
something.
boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, strip club owner. Yeah, like a low level mobster owns a strip club, kind of like maybe a little bit along the lines like Al Pacino's character and Donnie Brasco, something like that. You know what I mean? Like he's in there, but he's not like maybe the most respected dude or whatever. So he's got that acerbic personality and he keeps it going. So we like
Right.
that. We like Dice. Soup, you might need a couple more sponges here. So I'm going to give you a chance to win a couple of bonus sponges. If you get any of these right or within the parameters, you get a half a sponge. First up, question one here. Which one of these did Andrew Dice Clay not appear on? You have MASH, the television series, Pretty in Pink, Jury Duty, the old school movie, Dharma and Greg, Everybody Loves Raymond, Entourage, or is it a trick question and he appeared in all of them?
Think you're trying to trick me into picking. It's a trick question. MASH seems a little bit old, but I'm not going with that either. I'm going with Everybody Loves Raymond.
You got it, man. I thought
No
you would maybe
way.
go with Darman and Greg. You actually got it. You picked that one out, so that's a half a sponge
I
for
totally
you.
guessed.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude, that's a good guess. I mean, was it C? It was not C, actually. You know, I remember back in the day they told you on the multiple choice test, always go with C when you were in doubt. Question number two again, half sponge if you can get this one. Which movie that we've already covered here on Regular Dudes Watch Stuff did Maddie Corman, who plays Zuzu Pedals, have a fairly decent role in?
I feel like that could be anything too, because I can't pinpoint her in anything. I'm just gonna have to guess on something here, man. And I'm gonna go with let's see here. I'm gonna go with fuck. What's that one that
What's that one with the guy in the place?
there's a guy from the joint over there, man. Yeah. Damn it.
All right, well you're done. You're cut off. You didn't get it. It's actually
Yeah.
PCU. She was one of the feminists.
Really? Oh,
Yep, she was feminist number two, I believe.
feminist number two. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I totally failed. I wouldn't have guessed that anyway. So, all right.
All right, and bonus sponge number three. One more chance here for a half a sponge. This is an age difference question. If you can get it within 2 years, I'll grant you the half a sponge. What is the age difference between Ed O'Neill and Andrew Dice Clay in years?
Hmm. I'm gonna say they're the same age.
You are incorrect. I believe Ed O'Neill is 7 years older.
Okay. Okay. I would have probably put him older, but I still felt like that was a trick.
I feel like in Ford Fairlane, we were supposed to think they were the same age, probably.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, or give or take close. Booty
Give or
time. I got
take
booty
a
time.
booty time or two across the USA. And Soup, it's not booty time. It is time to check out the holes in this house. They are what we have been filling our holes up with. They be our eye holes, our ear holes, even whatever we take the wallet and dump it into that relentless black hole. At Soup, I will say that I have just finished up a Hijack. It's the Idris Elba show on Apple TV. It's fine. It's a decent binge. It probably didn't need to be a show. It probably could have been a movie or whatever, but Idris Elba's great. It's fine if you kind of like the suspense thriller thing. I think I like the first season a little bit better. It's still not that bad. I have also been checking out the second season of Paradise. This is on Hulu. Can't say much about it without spoiling the premise of the show. It's not like they're trying to hide it at this point, but if you haven't checked it out and you're unspoiled, I think it's definitely worth doing so. Also, been checking out the second season of Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters. This is the Godzilla franchise on Apple TV, but this is pretty cool, Soup. I don't know if you know, they actually have, this is one of those shows, you theoretically should have seen a couple of Godzilla King Kong movies beforehand, but it's got Kurt Russell and his son playing the same
Oh yeah,
role,
I've heard
kind
of
of
this
like
one. Yeah, yeah.
across like different timelines. It's pretty cool, dude. They spent a lot of time on it. It's one of those, it was a couple years off between seasons, but the CGI is excellent. It is movie quality thus far. It's a good cast. It's got our dude Anders Holm from Workaholics. He's got a fairly substantial role in it. It's more dramatic. Yeah, obviously than his role on Workaholics, but he's pretty good in it. Have you checked out any of this? Have you checked out any of the semi-recent Godzilla King Kong movies, anything like that?
No, I haven't, man. But I am interested in this show. I remember seeing I remember reading or popped up on my news feed or whatever, and because of the Kurt Russell and his kid thing, and it looked from what I read or whatever, I was interested. So it's on my radar for sure. Um, is there any other, just to jump back one step real quick? I don't think I've heard of this Paradise. Is there a basic premise? I know you don't want to spoil, but is there a basic premise or anything like?
More or less the basic premise. If you want to avoid any spoilers, five, four, three, two, one, check out now. At the end of the first episode, the basic twist is it looks like you're kind of in Everytown, USA, and the president has been assassinated, but it turns out they're living in like an underground bunker in a mountain because there was like a crazy volcano, like world killing event or whatever, that kind of thing. So it kind of flips the whole thing on its head. And
Oh,
the
okay.
first
So it's
season
like
is
why it's
more of
one of
like a
those. Yeah.
yeah, so the first season is kind of more of a murder mystery set inside, and then the second season they're starting to venture out into the what's left of humanity and that sort of thing.
That seems like a trend because there's like Fallout and was the
Fallout's
other
a
one?
little, yes,
Primal?
Fallout is a
Yeah.
little bit like that. Yeah, it's we kind of scratch that itch for you. It's a solid cast. They might be leaning like they're So, they're trying to keep some characters around, maybe who they don't need to keep around at the same time as really expanding the cast. But it's interesting, man. I think it might work a little bit better as a binge, but certainly not anything that I have a problem with. In Soup, I know one thing we don't have a problem with is the fifth season of Shoresy. We've been talking about it here on the channel. On There's something about Shoresy. It is now available on the Hulu. You can check out all 6 episodes of season 6. Soup, anything you want to just say overall about the 6th season of Shoresy? I think it plays even better with USA hockey. I mean, the Olympic hockey was huge. You felt like there was a lot of that, like on this, this last season of Shoresy. They're talking about trying to, set the tone even more in the style of hockey being played. Is it physical enough? Are people taking dives and that sort of thing? Is there enough fighting in the game still? And I think right now, reality has made this season look even better, right?
I think, and I like to think that Shoresy had something to do with it, because most people who are playing hockey are probably watching Shoresy. Um,
Yeah, if you're on the internet, you're on hockey threads, you see a lot of Shoresy references and memes.
I'm sure you do, right? Yeah, I mean, Shoresy.
Everyone loves the gyms, dude. The gyms are
everyone loves the gyms, dude. I mean, they're fucking great, dude. The gyms are such fucking beauties, man. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen Shoresy, watch it. I mean, I wouldn't jump. You can jump into season 5, but it's better just watch it. It goes quick. Just check it out, man. It's worth it. I promise.
Yeah, right. It's 5 seasons, 6 episodes. Roughly, call it 30 minutes an episode at most. For the most part, they're usually more in the 25. Occasionally, run a little bit
I like
longer.
the growth of the show, like, because I didn't know which direction they were going to go.
It's a sports show that's a comedy, and they do a good job of really developing the characters to the point now. There literally was a season where there really wasn't much hockey, and we were perfectly fine with it because we love the characters so much.
Yeah, and then the season before was no hockey, right? It was off.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was 4. Yeah, for the summer in Sudbury season.
There was some hockey here. There was definitely some. When we got it good too, man. But I would like to see more hockey though too. So going forward, I do know there's going to be a season 6. I did hear that. So are we correct?
Yeah, we're on for season 6, but it's not till 2027. So, one of those things. At least it's not 2 years. We'll take the old kind of standard year between things. How about yourself, man? Anything in particular you've been filling any of your, face holes or whatever holes up with?
Yeah, I haven't been. I've had kind of a busy couple of weeks here. A lot going on, so I haven't really been watching a lot of things to where I would throw them in my, talk about my hole filling with them. But I have been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, so I've been filling my holes with that. And I know it's kind of like a lot of people have already played it. It's been around for a while, but I've always liked Grand Theft games and everything else, man. This is kind of like that, but it's, it's a different setting and shit. But I've been really liking it. It's just infinite. It just seems like I'm never going to finish this game.
Right? Did I oversell it? Because I kind of tried to get you into it, but it's such an amazing world, right? It's like.
I mean, the
crazy.
graphics are amazing too, dude. Like, I mean, the landscapes are fucking gorgeous and shit. Like it's cool. And a lot of horse riding. You're doing
I was gonna say, you want to do stuff, you can do it now on a horse.
Yeah. So there was that, and then this past weekend, as part of my job, I went to a food buying show for my food distributors. They put on a food show. Most food distributors will do this. Purveyors or whatever, so your big companies like US Foods and anyway, this was Cheney Brothers who I work with, and they put on a big event down in Myrtle Beach. So I was down in Dirty Murty for a couple of days, but I'm not going to talk about everything, the pre-night and all that, but I'm going to say right away what the food show is. It's awesome. It's a convention center, and most people who haven't been to one of these things, it's kind of mind-blowing. I've been to a few of these now, but every time I'm still kind of like, there's always a few things that kind of blow me away, man. And it's just a cool vibe. So it's like, picture going into like a huge, big open warehouse building or whatever. This is a convention center. And then there's just sections of things, right? So like over here, you have seafood. And it's just like dozens and dozens of like vendors trying to get you to buy their shit. People that our food purveyor works with, and they get shit from them and then they give it to us, whatever. So then you got your chicken people, you got your beef guy, you got, there's the Latin place. The Latin place is where the party is because they always have a band and dancers and shit. But dude, they hire models, like hot ass models, to walk around with trays of food and shit. I mean, it's just, the place is bumping, dude. It's awesome.
I know the concept of like conventions like this where they're trying to sell stuff, so there is a lot of that over the top kind of.
Yeah,
but I think for food it'd be super interesting because at the end of the day,
eating shit, like
you can do the product, right? Other things like you can't tell, is this really the thing in this demo? Am I getting the real product? The food is the food.
Yeah, that's
right?
where you can kind of put your eyes on things. Like I heard about this. Will I like it? I'm gonna, then you try it. Everybody's serving you shit. They want you to try shit, and sometimes they let you take shit with them. or with you. So if I'm interested in something, they got a couple of them laying out, like, man, let me get a sample of that. So you can get samples of shit and stuff and take them back and fuck with them and shit, when you get home and back to the restaurant or whatever. But anyway, speaking of samples, I've been wanting some Iberico pork, right? And I ran into something because I saw these suckling pigs, and I was like, oh shit, they got suckling pigs here, man. And this happened to be in the Latin part, which is awesome. Like I said, that's where the party is, man. But and then right next to the suckling pig, they had the fucking Iberico pork, and then there was a dude next to that cooking octopus in a big fucking like rondo joint, like cooking octopus, serving up octopus, dude. So I went over by the puss, and I asked the dude, man, talk to me about this Iberico, over here. And they had the secreto cut and the pluma cut or whatever. So I'm like, man, how can I get I haven't worked with you guys before. I don't think I've ordered anything from you. Do you have any and I asked him if he had any paperwork, and I felt bad as soon as I said it, like maybe I should have rephrased that because I just asked the Hispanic guy if he had his paperwork. And so I was like, because everybody has like the little pamphlets and shit they give you, a business card.
Right, yeah, the packet or whatever. Yeah.
And he gave
The
me a
card,
funny
yeah.
look, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But I couldn't retract it. Then all of a sudden, right away, he's like, "Well, here you can take a couple samples of these things, man." So I got an Iberico. I got two Ibericos to take with me, which I loved. That was awesome. So anyway, but I'm gonna buy some because they're fucking delicious. So
Only question: if Suckling Pig was a band, what genre of music would they play?
I like that. I feel like it would
Feels
be
like metalish, kind of, at least in my opinion.
yeah. I don't know if it would be like death metal, man. It might be more like I feel like it'd be more like a Ramones kind of fucking Sex Pistols kind of band.
Yeah, I can see hair metal too, maybe something like that.
Maybe
A
hair
little
metal,
bit kind
yeah.
of heightened,
I mean, we're not as good as the Black Plague here, but.
Right. I mean, who is? I mean, that's a different story entirely, to be perfectly honest with you.
But anyway, food show, very cool. It was a good time, man. And yeah, I got to see a lot of things and, anything from it. There's also plates, equipment and shit that I want. I'm looking at a meat slicer. I'm looking at new blenders and shit. So they have all that shit, dude. It's
Oh
everything
yeah,
you
I'd be
can
all up
possibly
on the
imagine,
equipment there, dude. I
So
like the
yeah,
tech of it all, dude. That'd be cool.
I came home with a pamphlet or a pack or a stack of fucking pamphlets and papers and shit well, probably like this, but that's big for fucking paper. Um, a lot of pictures and shit, just
Yeah,
so I
many
remember.
trees died in the effort to
Like I
gather
never
that
will remember
information.
all that shit, so that's why I take stuff with me, and then I remember it by looking over it. So now I've got hours of time looking over shit and pictures and things oh yeah, I remember that. That's what and I want that. There's a lot of cool things that I want and that I'll get. So that's kind of the
We're
point of
being
doing
honest,
it.
we're the age. I still like to see things on paper sometimes. As weird as it is, like I do still enjoy the
I
actual
would
like I
rather
print
read
I
something on
print
paper
things
than on the yeah.
sometimes and I actually write things on paper and cross them out instead of I could do it
Well,
on
what
my
a lot of
phone or
these guys
tablet,
are
but
doing now is just putting a QR code up instead of fucking printing out a bunch of these things. I'm just getting the QR code. I yeah, I
I
get
would
it, but I
if
love
it was
it.
me, I would do both. I would have both
Yeah,
variously.
I did on most. Well, some of them had both, and some of them just had the one. So of
Yeah,
course
you
I
can
was
always
all right.
put the QR code on the paper then too. It can go
Right,
both
yeah.
ways.
But then you're still defeating the point or deflating the purpose of not printing out and wasting paper or whatever. But
Right, right. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
yeah, but
I've also
I
been
prefer.
just prepping for a couple of things. I watched basically rewatched For All Mankind. This is the alternate history show about what if Russia made it to the moon first. This is on Apple TV. The fifth season is coming out at the end of March, so that was a fun one. Second time I've gone through the show, that was great. Also rewatched Peaky Blinders in anticipation of The Immortal Man. That's a Peaky Blinders movie coming out in limited theaters and on Netflix. And Soup, we're getting ready to do the fifth season of The Boys on Compound B. So I've been going back through The Boys, going back through Gen V, and I am proud to report it is still really fun to rewatch the show. I'm also rereading the comics. So I'm trying, as I do it, the rewatch this time to pick up a little bit more. It's weird because they'll pull things from the early run of the comics, and they will be in season 1, season 3, and season 4. They kind of just remix everything, but I think they do a really good job of it. So, are you as excited as I am for the final season of The Boys?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing that I'm sure you put your holes on it or put it in your holes too. Is that the trailers? We'll talk about that on the Compound B that we do. So be sure to check that out too. But yeah, that's another thing I put in my holes. Yeah, super excited about it, man. I have been since the last season ended. But I do like what it's looking like. I mean, of course, it's I'm trying to not. I'm trying to. I don't. You know how I don't like spoilers, man. So I try to like one trailer is enough for me. Quick teaser is all I need. So the less I know, the better. I also have no frame of reference with the comics, because I have not read those. But if I feel like I might after the show is over, maybe I'll go back and read
You
them because
should. It's almost a completely different story. For what it's worth, the ending of the comics is off the table. The changes they made is kind of like Game of Thrones. The butterfly effect, once you start making changes early on, it portends to later changes. And at this point, I think they'll try to touch upon a couple of the images and some of the themes and kind of the general overall thing. But for the most part, they just can't redo the ending of the comics. So it's kind of cool. So even if you read them, you don't know what's coming next. And sometimes that's fun, right? Sometimes you like to know what's
yeah.
coming, sometimes you don't. And if you're looking for something to check out, you don't know what's coming next, we've got just what you need, our Sterling suggestions. We're going to try to keep these Ford Fairlane themed, so maybe something with Andrew Dice Clay, Rennie Harlan, something like that. Soup, do you have a Sterling suggestion for us for this episode?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of something Ford Fairlane-ish, or maybe just starring one of the other people, and that would be easy enough. But here's what I'm thinking: private detective, right? Okay, now we've already done Last Boy Scout, and that was a great private detective movie. Man, it goes. I mean, how could it not be? But anyway, I'm going way deeper onto a private detective kind of situation, man. Now, this is not a rock and roll detective, man. This is more of a dive into the character kind of detective, and somebody who likes to dress up, and that person is who's Harry Crumb, dude. I'm a big fan of
Okay,
John
okay.
Candy, obviously. Now, this isn't going to be a rated R, dice joint, but who's Harry Crumb? It's classic John Candy. It's 80s. It's fucking hilarious, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm gonna give that another look now that I'm into the private dick situation here. And who's Harry Crumb, dude? Check it out if you haven't.
I like that very much. Excellent pull there. I teased it earlier. I'm just going to go with the Eponymous, the Andrew Dice Clay series called Dice from 2016. Originally ran on Showtime for 13 episodes. Solid show, solid supporting cast, excellent roster of guest stars, recurring stars, that sort of thing. The episode where Adrian Brody shows up because he's supposed to be playing dice in a movie that's Ego, I believe it's the second season, is probably the peak of the show. And honestly, it's great television. The show itself is, Dice is probably portraying himself in a slightly better light or whatever, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun. It's only 13 episodes. They're between like 25 and 30 minutes a piece, so you could bang it out if you can find it wherever it's streaming. So I will definitely advocate for the dice. So Soup's got the Harry Crumb. I got the dice. I'd love to see what kind of dice Harry Crumb would roll, but that's a crossover for another day.
Yeah, dude, good call on the. I mean, I agree with you on that show too. I want to revisit the show also. So good call.
Yeah, nice, easy rewatch. So definitely one worth checking out.
All right, Mills. Now you know the deal, man. Before we get to Ford Fairlane, we got to talk about the 6 degrees of Lebowski.
All right, man. We're connecting us dudes to the dudes. We do it with the 6 degrees of Lebowski. To start out, obviously, we got to go with our guy. Andrew Dice Clay is Ford Fairlane in the Adventures of Ford Fairlane. In Blue Jasmine, Andrew Dice Clay played Augie, and Peter Sarsgaard played Dwight. Not quite a Skarsgård, but a Sarsgaard, so it's close. In The Batman, Peter Sarsgaard played District Attorney Gil Colson, and Colin Farrell played Oz. In Daredevil 2003, the OG Daredevil with Ben Affleck, Colin Farrell played Bullseye, and Jon Favreau played Foggy Nelson. In Iron Man, Jon Favreau played Happy Hogan, and Jeff Bridges played Obadiah Stane, and Jeff Bridges is the dude. So maybe not as many deep cuts there, but I feel that was a fun one, and it was the closest we could get to including a Skarsgård.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Skarsgård,
Dude, you
we
never
lost
know,
the K,
man.
we
There's
tried our
there's
best.
gonna be enough Skarsgård material out there to maybe we do. There might end up being a 7 degrees of Skarsgård, man, on the horizon. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
there's so much Skarsgård material out there, they might have to pay someone to mop up after it.
they probably do. How much does the average jizz mopper make per
Skarsgård
hour?
mopper make. I don't know what a Skarsgård
What's the
mopper
going
makes.
rate these days?
For a Scars mop, I don't know, dude. A lot, probably. People probably paid it for the honor of doing it.
All right, so check this out. We are about to dive right into Ford Fairlane here, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. We're going to talk about this movie. We're going to give spoilers about this movie. So if you have not seen this flick, if you don't know things about dice, then, maybe do your research, check it out, come back. But from this point forward, you've been warned, man. All bets are off, dude. Spoilers happening.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
This is The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, directed by Rennie Harlan, on a screenplay by David Arnett, James Capp, and Daniel Waters. Story by David Arnett and James Capp, based on characters by Rex Weiner. Produced by Steve Perry and Joel Silver. Cinematographer was Oliver Wood. Edited by Michael Tronick, and music by Yellow. Released July 11th, 1990, had a budget of about $20 million, upon which it returned about $21 million, yet still regarded as a flop initially. Stars are Andrew Dice Clay, Wayne Newton, Priscilla Presley, Morris Day, not Morris Day in the motherfucking time, just Morris Day, Gilbert Gottfried, Lauren Holly, Maddie Corman, Tone Loc, Robert Englund, and Ed O'Neill. The synopsis is: a vulgar private detective is hired to find a missing groupie and is drawn into a mystery involving a series of murders tied to the music industry. Soup, overall thoughts here, and can you tell me, like, when's the first time you saw Ford Fairlane? I honestly not sure if I remember the exact first time, if we're being totally honest.
I feel like I saw it as soon as I possibly could. I didn't see it in a theater, but whenever it came out on video, I was on it because I was a big Dice fan back then, and I was ready for this one to come out. So I feel like I was waiting for it and saw it right away.
I'd say I saw it on VHS before, DVD. I don't think this is one I don't really ever remember seeing on HBO or Cinemax. I think that's all we ever had at my house. So if it wasn't on that, it was not one I really checked out. I think when I got to be a little bit older, I checked it out. And honestly, at the time, I liked Dice, and I think I remember being a little disappointed that it wasn't like more Dice, right? Like they didn't let it maybe be Dice enough. And because I didn't really understand movies, like I didn't get that they were doing a film noir thing, or some of the references that they were trying to make. So it probably went over my head a little bit initially. So I think it's one that I enjoyed a lot more upon rewatch. And how about yourself? Is it still kind of the same? Is it all about Dice, or do you feel a little bit differently about it now after checking it out years later in your life?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I've kind of liked it consistently. I think I mean, it was better back when originally saw it, because obviously now you look back and it's like, there's moments where that's really fucking cheesy and shit, but it's also supposed to be like that. I just think the whole vibe of it is just fun. I always like movies kind of like this with that kind of vibe. Go like, dude, just living on like a sick fucking beach. Like I don't know how he affords a house like that. He doesn't even make cash, but anyway,
Well, the same way that Mel Gibson affords his beach trailer in the first Lethal Weapon, they must have the same realtor.
Yeah. So, but yeah, exactly, man. It has like that kind of feel to it. But then it's fun. Like the situations and shit are fun. So it's a good movie regardless of the Dice himself. Now you throw Dice in there, and being a fan of Dice, yeah, would I have liked more Dice-ish? I don't know. I think it was probably a good amount, man. I think it was. I think it was a good sprinkle, because he's still him. He isn't really changing his character all that much, man. He's still kind of playing himself, but just being that guy.
It's a weird mix, right? Because they're trying to be kind of meta. They do fourth wall breaks. They look directly into camera. They reference like real life. Even Ford at one point, what do you think? This is real life? I mean, that's kind of on the nose a little bit. And honestly, when I was watching this, rewatching it especially, I got Last Action Hero vibes, and I don't really mean that in a bad way. I think it was a little bit ahead of its time, and kind of like recognizing that it was going to be a little bit of a parody of itself. Am I nuts on that?
No, that makes a bit of sense there, man. It does have that kind of vibe a little bit, but it doesn't run with it, man.
Right, that's the thing. It seems like it wants to be a lot of things at once, and that's probably the main downfall. Again, like if it just wanted to be a full-on Dice movie, or make Dice into a full-on action hero, I think it would have had a higher ceiling, maybe a lower floor. You know what I mean? It maybe could have potentially been a better flick, but also been a much worse flick. I enjoy this one. I think it deserves its kind of cult status for the most part. It's a very good supporting cast, nice soundtrack. It's not shot the greatest. It's a little dark at times. I don't really love the cinematography, but it's also got some pretty good action set pieces and some funny ones. I mean, the chase through the cemetery is pretty inventive, right? I think that's ahead of its time, adding the comedy to the chase of it all.
Yeah, yeah, true. Well, yeah, it's right there because I mean, I feel like something like that has been done before, but I could be wrong.
Maybe not 1990 though.
Yeah, maybe not 1990, right? That's where I'm trying to like, but yeah, you know, in another movie that came out, you know, probably like when I compare this one to Last Boy Scout, and I don't know why. The only thing this movie is the only because it's a comedian, private detective. The only thing this movie is missing is that lead action star. Like it doesn't have the Bruce Willis in it. It's just, you know, it's just so it would have been like a just Damon Wayans if it were something like this, you know.
Yeah, it's a one-hander. I mean, it's Roger Rabbit kind of with just Eddie Valiant, with
Yeah.
just Bob Hoskins kind of, having to do a couple
Now,
of.
now the supporting cast is great, but it's not a dual lead role kind of thing like The Last Boy Scout, which was a made
Right, he doesn't. Yeah, right. Doesn't have anyone to bounce off of. A lot of times it's just Dice carrying it. Even more so because they're going with the film noir route, so there's a lot of narration. So even
Yeah.
when he's not even talking, and that's almost at times it threw me off a little bit because I can't tell if they're doing like ADR, if they're doing voiceover, and he's supposed to be talking, or if it's a narration because his lips are either off or it's not. So there's a little bit of a funky editing in, but for the most part, I think I enjoyed the look. I mean, they embrace kind of a weird. It's not 80s, it's not 90s, but there's also like a slash of that kind of 50s, 60s Back to the Future thrown in, right? So I think it's an interesting look for what it's worth. At
I
least in
agree.
terms of the
Yeah.
wardrobe, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, was that the cow print vest really in style?
I don't know, but I feel like I need to get one. I think I might.
I mean, Dice
I'm
tried,
gonna look
dude.
into it. Look into it for sure. Bring it back. Maybe I'll have better luck bringing that back than the cape. You know.
We're bringing it back, dude. We're bringing it back. That's what we're gonna do. As far as kind of more specific stuff, I always love the whole concept of things as a band name. We open with Black Plague, dude. I mean, is Black Plague? Is it just a pestilence on the earth? Is it a dark metal band? What's Black Plague to you?
Well, obviously it's everybody's heard of the fucking Black Plague, dude. So if there is a band about called the Black Plague, I would feel it would be like I think it'd be more hardcore than fucking Vince Neil, though. I think it would be more like a Rob Zombie kind of thing.
Oh, definitely more of a zombie thing. But kind of cool that they got Vince Neil to show up, right? As the dude who
Great
just
that they
dies
have
as
Vince
kind of a
Neil in
cameo.
here. Yeah, I mean, talk about getting a great cameo, man. Fucking Vince Neil in his prime too, dude.
What do you think is better, Dice's intro or the intro for the car itself? And the car is a main part of the flick. Actually, believe it or not, the biggest complaint, at least in terms of what I read, was not that Andrew Dice Clay was vulgar. It's that you did not actually blow up that Ford Fairlane, right? And they actually did. They did not. They were very clear. They did not really blow up a real Ford Fairlane, but you get the very
And
cool
nobody
intro of
hurt
the car.
the fucking koala bear either.
He was a lot. They have very thick necks. I think that's how he was able to survive. So like Frank Reynolds, right? Like he can't. The neck is so thick, he just can't really.
Fucking
hang
girthy
himself.
neck, dude. Girthy neck.
Especially with a fan, dude. It's just not really going to work that way. Honestly, one of my most favorite things is when they take a gag to the fullest. The idea that Ford Fairlane wears a holster, but not for pistols, but for his cigarettes that's perfect for me for Dice.
I need to get one of those.
Or I've seen the Zippo on the belt before.
I've seen the Zippo holster for sure.
I've seen the Zippo on the belt, but not the over-the-shoulder boulder holder for dual cigarettes. That's fairly impressive, dude.
If anybody's gonna have one of those, it's gonna be the Dice Man.
I mean, he gets that, and then he gets the Zambuca milkshake part of the intro, which I like because it's comes back, right? They actually bring back the Zambuca milkshake like 2 other times throughout the flick. So that's actually decent writing. I do have to say, when he takes our guy there, the soccer boy, and he just runs him through the bar. Dude, who pays for that?
That's
like if you were just there, if that was your drink who got ran over, I'm okay with, Ford Fairlane dueling out the justice. But if that was my drink, I want a new drink.
I mean, I want my drink back. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like the bar is probably paying for that because, maybe Ford's paying for it. I don't know, man. It's either Ford or the bar, though. That's for sure. Shake me.
Dude, that is, again, that's somewhat like kind of Andrew Dice Clay, but maybe not. Do you think that they went like a little bit too meta with it. Like, here within this, you get a couple of great interactions with the chicks. You get the, I believe, the Clint Eastwood thing, and then you get the one chick who's kind of mad at Dice, and he's like, "What do you think? This is real life?" And he pretty much looks into the camera. Is that like too meta for you? I actually think it was ahead of its time a little bit. Like, it's not perfect, but I think it makes sense with the tone I think they're going for, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you could take it either way. Maybe you could say something like that, and he's just fucking around, or maybe yeah, obviously it's there for a reason. So I like the idea that you can take it either way, and it doesn't really lean into that kind of thing as the movie goes on. So I think it was
Right. I
well
almost
played.
wish it did a little more because she's like, because it's when he gives her the number and it's a 555, and she's like, wait, that's not a real
Yeah,
number. So I almost wish they would have called it out a little more. And some of it seems like they were going to. This feels like a flick that maybe the studio meddled a little bit in the editing room or something like that. But, it's not the Black Plague. It is, not the disease that killed a billion peasants. It's something much scarier. All right, dude, how about like Ford trying to show us when he could be a rock star? Did you like this? And when they go into the studio, he's like, yo, I could do this better. I actually thought that was pretty cool because if he's going to be a rock and roll detective, you need the rock and roll, right?
yeah. I've heard cats fuck with more harmony than this kid, man. And that's yeah. Then we get that's where we get Morris Day and shit.
Morris
I
is
forget
great. He shows up, he's got 4 or 5 scenes, but he is very great in this flick.
Yeah, yeah, and Dice's performance is what you would expect out of Dice. He
He
killed
did
it.
do some of the vocals for that. He's at least credited with it, so
Yeah,
not too shabby, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know if he could have been a rock star, but he made that other dude look bad, which comes back around at the end. How about Wayne Newton as a kind of a villain here? Did you like that? It's kind of casting against type. He's got the evil mustache, so I'm usually a fan of
yeah,
both those things.
yeah. I think he played it really well too, man. Wayne Newton with the stash, I think helped him pull it off actually.
Oh, he would not have looked. I mean, I guess he could have. What would have been better, the goatee or the stash?
Maybe like a Fu Manchu, dude.
Oh, the Fu Manchu. Well, that would have been too evil. I don't know that. I don't know if we would have believed that Wayne Newton could actually be that
Wayne
evil.
Newton would probably he'd probably look good with a Fu Manchu, dude.
Oh, dude, we talked about, Bobby died at the beginning here, Vince Neil. Dude, what was up with his funeral, man? He was in that kind of tube thing. All I know is it's really cool when it rolls down the hill. I'm assuming they put him in a tube so you could get that scene of it rolling down
Yeah.
the hill. I just hope that there are that many people at my funeral, I guess.
Yeah, that many groupies for sure. But
Honestly, if I would take 10% of that, I'm cool with, if I'm being
right,
real
yeah, that was
about it. But
pretty
that was
excessive,
fun though,
man.
kind of, right? I mean, because it's set up, you think it's going to be this big chase with the hearse, because Dice's tires get slashed, they can't use the Fairlane, and then he's got the whole corpse in there.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
very end, do you think Dice actually has magical powers? Was that chick really? Did she come back to life? Because Ford just loved her breast so much,
Dude, that's
or
another
was
thing
she
too,
dead?
man. But you know what? It probably was. It was probably those fucking morticians, man. Had some fucking whore all doped up out there and shit, and she finally just woke up and was like, "Oh hey,
Yeah, reminds me
let's
from
go,
Frank
let's go bang it
Frank's
out in
old
the
movies.
hearse, man."
Yeah, that is
Who knows?
that's a great episode of Sunny where there is the crossover with that. But yeah, that was I thought overall it was fun because just the physical comedy of it was great. Like you expecting it to be this kind of like high level car chase, and instead it's almost slapstick, right? Dice is throwing the chick back and forth. He throws his gun accidentally into the other car. And I thought that
Yeah.
worked. It made it a lot more comedic than I thought it was going to be. And I think maybe that's a criticism you could make. Some people could say, all right, pick a lane, right? Be an action flick, be a comedy flick, be whatever. But for the most part, I thought, ironically enough, it looked like it could be the big action sequence, and maybe it was, but it was still really funny, I thought.
Dude, action comedy go together pretty fucking well. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good comedy, action comedy slash whatever the fuck movies out there, man. And this is one of them. I mean, the action sequences and shit are actually pretty good in here, man. I mean, they're climbing on the Capitol Records building at one point, for fuck's sake.
Well, that's great. That's a perfect segue because when they get away, Dyson they do that the little sequence on the freeway, which is fun when they're trying to hitchhike, and then the asshole like tries to just give him shit, and then later that's the car I use. But dude, when Ford goes to the sorority house, I mean that's kind of like Jay and Silent Bob entering heaven or something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just his like he was just every like he couldn't take it. He was overwhelmed, dude. It was too much, too overload, man.
It's almost like orgasmic. And one of the best parts is at this point we've picked up Zuzu Petals, who we managed to just find, and she is just like over it. All the other chicks are fawning over Ford, and she's just like, oh, come on, can we just do something else? Like, I actually like Zuzu Petals a lot. Where'd you land on her? I thought she was actually pretty fun, and
She
just didn't come
is,
really
she
well.
is, but she she's the perfect fit for that one. And the character is great too. It's exactly what would you expect out of Zuzu Petals, man. But
Oh,
I
the
love the
name.
name too. But talking to Zuzu Petals like masturbating with a cheese grater, mildly amusing but mostly painful.
He is probably not wrong. I mean, it really doesn't even pretend on the type of cheese at that point. Like, it
Doesn't
might
matter
be
what kind
any
of
type
cheese
of
it
cheese. Yeah. I,
is.
I mean, like literally, I think at one point he says like maybe I did die in the explosion. I mean, I'm there for that, and that's very kind of this is a 1990 flick, but it definitely feels like an 80s scene, right? When he's in the sorority
Oh,
house
for
with all
sure.
the
Yeah, that's
that feels like
80s
something straight out of
sorority
the
for
80s.
sure, dude. I think they did it on purpose. 'Cause there's no way, like, I highly doubt you go to a sorority house and there's not going to actually be chicks in their fucking panties hitting each other with pillows and shit, but maybe there is. I don't
Well,
know.
they did. That was what I liked. Is that's a spot where I thought it was really meta because they tried to jam all of those in like
All
a
the
minute.
stereotypes right
Yeah,
there.
every
Yeah.
single stereotype, short of maybe going in the shower with them, they pulled off in a minute. So in that case, I thought they did a really good job of kind of mixing up to the point where I could feel like, oh, this is not this is kind of meta or whatever. How about Priscilla Presley? We really haven't talked about her at all as Colleen. She kind of comes up and she gets a great a death scene where Ford can't understand what she's trying to
Yeah.
say. I thought that was really fun, because she's generally known for the naked gun flicks, and that was kind of a
Right.
scene that reminded me the most of that. But I thought she was, really fun. And again, maybe this is a flick where they didn't need to lean so hard into having a twist or whatever, but they were kind of going for the film noir thing, so I get it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, she's fine, man. I mean, it's Priscilla Presley, dude. It's not Jane, but Colleen, she's all right. Very dry, very. It reminds me of Maud from the Lebowski. Just very monotonish kind
That's a
of.
good call, dude. That's a good call. That's probably a very apt comparison there. I like kind of the callback here. Remember at the beginning with the Pussycats? They give Ford a watch to pay. It's kind of a fun thing where he is getting paid in, not actually money. Like he just wants to get paid in money and he gets this watch. And there's a runner about how he doesn't know what time it is. And then he kind of doesn't know what time it is here. So like when he's
Oh,
like,
it's
oh
a
yeah,
runner that he
like
doesn't know the
I'll
time.
release
Yeah,
these CDs to the cops, by 7. And he's like, dude, it's like 7:30 already. That was actually kind of cool. Like I thought
yeah.
that
I
was
like the
solid
runner
writing.
that he never knew that. I love the runner that he needed to watch and then and never knew the time, man. But the shit that I like it that is always he's never getting paid money, which leads me back to how the fuck does he have money, But
He does. He just says things. He gets gifts. He gets paid
prophylactics
in
cost
gifts.
money. Yeah, man.
I feel like that sometimes you get paid in gifts. We've seen that before in other things. I think Daredevil was like that a little bit, but it's a decent enough trope. You mentioned the Capitol Tower scene. Do you like the idea of him not really caring about anything until he was going to torture the Jimi Hendrix string for a left-hander guitar?
I mean, dude,
Is
I
that really
agree with him
like,
on
is
that
that
one.
the
Yeah,
holy grail of guitarists?
kind of. Yeah, if that's really his, I mean, yeah, kind
Like a
of.
59 Fender or whatever the hell it was, I think.
Yep. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, if that was Jimmy's guitar strung upside down for the left-handed motherfucking genius himself, then yeah, I'm 100% behind him on that one. So, yeah.
I thought they did a good job. Again, kind of stereotypical, like it doesn't quite fall all the way down. He has to make the decision about who to let go.
Yeah.
They try to pull the kind of the fake out that the dude Smiley, Robert England will be the kid's father. How about the kid? Like that's basically a direct pull from Dick Tracy. A lot of the things with him and the girl are, but I still like it. I
Yeah.
thought the kid was kind of fun.
Good call, Dick Tracy too. That's something I should have thought about. But I think I've mentioned that on the show before too, like that. I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I will another detective thing. Anyway, back to that. The kid was fucking awesome, dude. Like the kid's great, dude. It's a good element to the movie. It breaks things up a little bit, and just like how he mimics Dice with smoking the cigarettes and shit and everything else,
That is
dude. It's
spectacular.
fucking hilarious. He does the exact
And
same
Dice
thing.
like kind of pretends to get mad, but you can tell he's kind of like secretly like, yeah, that's awesome.
What kind of kid are you?
Oh yeah, the kid just
Yeah, no, the
watching the
kid's great,
the
dude.
girls leave. Yeah, I thought the actor did a very good job. I thought the kid was, a lot of fun. And again, maybe it's a little bit too over the top at the end where they get kind of almost the mega happy ending if you wanted to go full Wayne's World with it, but still, I thought it was pretty much worth it. And some
You
of
know
the
what I really did
technology.
like though, like the one scene with the like it was with the two when Ford wakes up with the alarm going off and shit, and then we first get it, we hear his alarm and that's how he wakes up. But anyway, at the end of that scene, the two girls go run out and he's like the kid's just standing out there. He's like, "See them chicks? Girl Scouts took 2 boxes."
Oh,
Always been one of my favorite quotes of the whole fucking movie, dude.
right, and
There's
that
a
is
lot of good ones.
definitely pure Dice right there. Everything is pretty fun for the most part. I mean, the idea like they kept coming back around to the guy, and then it winds up being like the third CD was hitting under his star on the Walk of Fame. That was actually kind of clever from a writing standpoint, but realistically, you and I have both we've had CDs. You could not put a CD with no case in there in that and like not expect it to be scratched absolute hell. Doesn't matter if it's audio or data.
No, well, I mean, okay, depends, man. Now, is there going to be weather? Can anybody open that thing? Obviously, nobody's opened it. Is weather going to get in there? If no weather gets in there and it just says like it's in its own case.
Maybe. I mean, it feels like it would get scratched up. That's all I'm saying.
If it's going to get moved around and fucked around with, but I feel like if it's like, if it's just there and it's not getting fucked with, dude, it's like being in a case. They probably it seemed like when you shut that thing, it looked like a case almost. So I don't know, man. I just would say it'd be all right unless it got fucked with.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I think it's a nice twist because as weird as it is, I think the intention was when you see you see the dude's name and a star, and it's supposed to indicate that he's a Jewish guy because he's a producer in Hollywood. So that's what they're thinking, and then only at the very end is, oh, it's actually on his star. Like that's
Art
actually,
Mooney, fucking
yeah.
Art Mooney, dude.
So that's a nice, I think that's actually pretty good writing there. To be fair, don't we get the final kill with the Zambuca milkshake? Like the Zambuca milkshake comes all the way back around for what it's worth. The thickness probably helps the killingness.
I mean, if you're gonna light it, man, you gotta that thing better be dosed with some high gravity, the raw alcohol, man. Like you gotta. The thing with like, if you're gonna make a Zambuca milkshake, dude, you're not gonna be able to light it on fire. Like you have to pour something on top. You have to pour Everclear or some shit on top of that to get it to light on fire, man. And that's fine because it won't really Everclear won't change the taste of it really. Just fucking alcohol right there, it'll burn right the fuck off. So that's how I would do it if I were gonna serve a fucking Sambuca milkshake that I wanted to light on fire. But Sambuca itself, I don't even know if that lights actually. I don't know what's the alcohol.
I don't know if it has a high enough alcohol content.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
And let's be honest here, like Sam was the stalker at the beginning of the flick. I don't really know if the Pussycats would be like that cool, like at the end, just because he saved Ford or whatever. But I like the actor, so I guess I'll buy into it. But whatever. If your name is Stalker Sam, I don't know if you're really getting like that into the circle of trust, dude. How about the idea that the kid can only find his father based on a red Flintstone like cereal box ring?
Yeah,
That's funny in and of itself. I feel.
That's all he's got. That's all. That's the only.
That's it too. That's the only way he can find his father. And then somebody actually killed his pops and bothered to take it is kind of
and is rocking it.
like really, yeah, like really, really caring about it almost. So, I mean, let's be honest here. It's a pretty great supporting cast. That is Robert Englund.
Robert Englund's great, dude.
He pretty much got in because Rennie Harlan did the fourth
Nightmare
Nightmare with him. and then he was supposed to get somebody else. Oh, it was Billy Idol, dude. It was originally going to be Billy Idol as
I
Smiley,
could see that working too, though. But yeah,
but I thought he was pretty
Robert Englund's
great.
a better actor. Billy Idol, I mean, I could see Billy Idol doing that though for sure. What was he?
I
He was
think it
in
would
the
have been
Doors.
fine, but I think Robert Englund
What
did
else was
very
Billy
well.
Idol ever in? He was definitely in the Doors, but I don't know if he's been in anything else.
He did a
Probably
few. He was on a roll there for a minute. I mean, he had a particular like. I think he's one of those dudes. If you don't overuse him, he could be kind of mysterious or.
Eyes Without a Face, man.
Yeah, he's got the eyes, dude. He's got the eyes. That's crucial for that. Dude, how about Gilbert Gottfried as our guy Johnny Crunch, man? He gets
Yeah.
a very short run in the spotlight. He pretty much gets the scene with Dice, and then the scene in the video where I don't know, good dog sit. I guess do whatever you got to do. But man, dude, I don't remember Gilbert Gottfried looking this young, and like he still has obviously the Gilbert Gottfried voice. But I thought this was really fun and everything. The very iconic. Here's the you
Sucking
sucking
my
my.
dick. Yeah, man. That's how we're gonna end the show today. Anyway, but dude, and the thing between him and Dice have great chemistry on the scene, man. Johnny Crunch, he's great, dude. He plays that perfect like nasty DJ, and I love because here's where I think it stemmed from Hard Harry from Pump Up the Volume. All his decor around the place. He's got all the weird shit, random dicks and dildos or just weird shit. Just not just dicks and dildo or whatever, but weird shit like that a DJ operating out of his fucking basement or boat or whatever the fuck would have, doing a raunchy show. And so I love that about it, man. Just his entire fucking whatever the fuck is awesome.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if he was operating out of his boat, but I mean, he would
He
probably be
lived in the
living the
boat though,
life the
right?
full
That's what it
time.
was. He lived in the boat and he went there to look at the boat.
Do you
The boat
remember
had
the
all
name of the
these-
boat? Do you remember the name of the boat?
Something about a dick or a penis or mighty penis or
Mighty
something.
Penis. It was the Mighty Penis. Yeah, that's a fun gag where Ford's trying to look for the boat, and he's like, "Well, I don't know exactly what it is, so I'm just gonna have to like trust that I know the guy, and I will be able to figure out what the name of the boat is based on that."
And there you have it.
I mean, R.I.P. Johnny Crunch, dude. Can't believe he won't be alive to piss me off.
Right.
Great moment. Let's be fair. When
Wait,
Ford
didn't I
sees
take
him
your
die,
sister? Wait, what was the whole thing about the sister to the prom or no, his prom date? Well, I hope so because it was your sister or whatever it was. Like,
yes, he took. Yeah, I think they took each other's sisters to the prom almost. For the way it was. Johnny.
oh, I hope he didn't hook
Dice
up with my prom date because it was his sister. Yeah, there was something like that. Fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
And shout out, Dice. I was going to call him Dice. But Ford is so sad. Not when he sees Johnny's body, but when he sees the envelope of cash just turning into ash, he's like, I could cry. And then Johnny Crunch's line, maybe my favorite. Obviously not the as good as the toast. But when Johnny Crunch says,
Here we are, still in Los Angeles. Two rock and roll dicks. Only you're the detective and I'm just a regular dick.
we're going to use that going forward somewhere.
Down. Yep. I feel like that'll surface back around sometime.
Dude, what do you think about this? Apparently, originally, Dice encouraged Howard Stern to try out for that role, and Stern didn't really want to do it, and Dice kind of pushed him, and he tried out, and Gilbert Gottfried got it, and Stern kind of pissed at Dice for a while after that. Do you think that would have worked with Stern in the role, or do you think it was better with Gottfried?
I think Howard Stern could have done it, but Gilbert Gottfried really. But I mean, he would have to change a little bit to be like I don't know. I think Gottfried was the dude for it, man.
Yeah, I think if it was
Just
Howard
got that
Stern,
voice, that Johnny Crunch voice, and just his little antics. And
I
his
mean, I
weird
guess
shit,
1990 though, Stern isn't nearly as big as he is, as we are thinking about him now. In
Yeah.
1990, it would have been kind of niche, maybe. Like, probably more people knew him than Gilbert Gottfried, but maybe not that many.
Yeah, and I just think the not even that like Howard Stern might have been a bigger name and is a professional fucking DJ and shit, and that might have been a better call. It might have been more of a draw, but Gilbert Gottfried just had that voice. He played the role perfect, and he was just like that. He was sleazy. He just has that sleazy look.
Right, Howard Stern doing the "Here's to You" doesn't work as well.
Zuzu pedals. That's my daughter. Like oh yeah, your daughter, your sister, whatever.
Well, I don't think we're getting Howard Stern acting like a dog like that either at that point, right? I don't think like he would have maybe acquiesced to that, doing that shit on. We don't really see all of it, but still, it would have probably been used against him at some point. And dude, how fun is Ed O'Neill as Lieutenant Amos? I mean, most importantly, I don't know of any other time we get Ed O'Neill with a mustache, right? So does he just do the mustache to make him look more like a dick? Because if so, I think it's very successful.
Yeah, he wasn't rocking a stash. Al Bundy didn't rock a stash.
No, there was no. If he did, it was evil Al Bundy.
You
You know what I'm saying? Like when they get the goatee, the mustache, or whatever. So that's what it felt like
yeah,
to
if he's
me.
gonna play a dick cop, he needs that stash is perfect, like for that, So yeah, again,
His energy was
another
great
good
here, I
fucking
thought.
usage. These people are wearing their stash really well, Wayne Newton with the stash, Ed O'Neill with the stash. They're wearing the stash to fucking portray their role. And
Yeah, I like because
fucking
it's
wear
kind of like sometimes they do it with colors. Here, it's the mustaches. It
fucking
delineates who's evil and who's good. Which is why Dice is clean shaven, just with the choppers. He's just got the sideburns. But dude, can you beat Booty Time? Because Ed O'Neill goes in on this right.
Booty time, across the USA. Booty time, hey, hey, hey. Booty time, across the USA. It's booty time, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
booty time, boot my balls.
No one remembers Booty Time, but I feel like we need to bring it back. We need to get Ed O'Neill doing Booty Time now. He's like 70s. He's only in his 70s, dude. He can bring Booty Time back. I mean,
Dude,
he
yeah,
was
and the
theoretically
dance
banging,
wasn't that hard to do, I don't think, man. I saw him. Remember, he was like the booty time. He gets in it, man. Booty time, booty time. Yeah, dude, fucking booty time, man.
He needs just to combine them together. He needs to do the Booty Time and then do the L Bundy, like where you tuck the hand in your pants and just do that with the Booty Time. And then perfect, right?
That's how the video should start. You should just do it on the days and then be like, then the music kicks in, and he stands up and just starts, oh, yeah, booty time, booty time. Yeah, man. See, I have the video playing out in my head now. Ed O'Neill, where you at, dude? Let's
dude, we can do this. I mean, one of the best quotes probably is when Ed O'Neill's like,
"You think you're so hot because you get in all the clubs, huh? Just because you have sex with great-looking women. You think you're so hot just because you broke the Ensenada tape piracy ring.
You gotta admit, those are all pretty good reasons.
Get the fuck out of here, jerk off."
Yeah, I mean, whatever. What are you gonna say, dude? But yeah, I mean, yeah, Ed O'Neill's great. He's pretty much good. Yeah, I mean, he's good in anything, dude. But
I've never seen him be bad in anything. I've literally never seen Ed O'Neill be bad in anything. Like, he is fantastic. He is just the best. Honestly, so is Lauren Holly, dude. Let's not shortchange Lauren Holly here. Not a ton of females in the flick. She is awesome as Jazz. They do the thing where they make her seem kind of frumpy. She's got the glasses, the band hotness, but she's funny as shit the whole time. And I feel so bad for her when Dice eats that bad. You're going to have to tell us what it is, that bad appetizer. And he, forces it into her mouth. I've never quite seen that before.
It's got to be some kind of a weird, pate or some shit, man. I have to give it another look. I was trying to think about that, and I'm trying to look back at the scene, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? But I didn't have a chance to go back and actually pinpoint and give a good look. But I feel like it was like a pate or something.
I saw a little olive in there, but it did not look promising. Put it that way. It did not look like something. But him force feeding it.
But Lauren Holly shout out definitely. Jazz, the character, kind of comparable to the We Got One chick from Ghostbusters.
Yes, absolutely.
Way cooler because she does field work too, man.
She put her dukes up, man. She fought she was great.
Yeah, man. She's all tattered.
She showed up. She put up with Ford.
Yeah, a little ripped up. Everything was a little tattered, dude. Put her dukes up. Tough chick, man. Jazz is a tough chick, dude. Unbelievable. Yeah,
loved her. Dude, loved pretty much all that. I mean, David Patrick Kelly as Stalker Sam, we already talked about at the end. I don't know that he really deserved to get with the Pussycats, but he did save or at least help out our girl at the end there and help out Jazz. So, we talked about the kid. We talked about Priscilla Presley. We talked about Zuzu Pedals. Dude, Morris Day, he gets a couple of very good moments. But one of the absolute best, dude, at the very end, when he gets saved, he's like, dude, will somebody tell me what the fuck is going on? And Zuzu Pedals is like,
somebody tell me what the fuck is going on, slowly?
You see, it all started with this condom factory.
I'll write you a letter. Come on.
Oh, yeah, because he was like, slow down or whatever the fuck. So, yeah, she started going. Zuzu Pedals. Zuzu Pedals is fucking hilarious, man. Like
But I mean,
seriously.
like they just mix up their tones a little bit here because
Yeah.
that's like there's some like super meta, like that's an airplane joke. I mean, that's like really like a Zucker Brothers joke. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's almost thrown in here. But I mean, it's hysterical. It works for me. It just
Oh,
seems like they
absolutely,
kind of
dude.
bounce around all over the place a little bit.
He's like, I forgot my purse. He's like, fuck the purse. Is that what they're about to get blown up or whatever? Those shit always has something, or like, oh, I have to pee. Like they were in the middle of fucking a car chase right now. People are shooting at me, man. Like, you gotta pee. Not that that's how it went down, but that's what whatever. Anyway, she just has those moments of like, I don't know. And then Dice's reactions is always hilarious.
I mean, it's not full on like James Bond, dude, but they say like they're gonna serve a shark, and it looks like they do it like a pig roast. Like, I don't know, could you actually serve a shark like that? Would they really
You
do that?
could, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you'd have to have somebody there doing it. It wouldn't be you're not doing, this isn't self-serve. It's not a buffet. You got to have somebody who knows what they're doing up there, like, here you go, kind of shit. But at least I would hope.
There's always funny bits. It feels like a little bit of a carryover from Back to the Future, but Dice's alarm is basically like a giant set of speakers, and he's got like the clear phone, so maybe a little bit of 80s, maybe a little bit not. So I think that's kind of, on track or par for the course.
Yeah, he wakes up to like he cranks him up to 11. Wakes up to Hendrix ripping it. If that's how you wake up every morning, dude, that's fucking crazy, man. And with two chicks in your bed, you're doing all right. you know.
I mean, you're not doing bad. I mean, I think the kid, was fairly impressed. A lot of well, I shouldn't say a lot of, but there's definitely a bunch of gags that were inspired by Dice's comedy routines. And there's the Neil and Bob joint, the kind of the noises he makes, and then the whole bit where he calls us Dick Stanley in honor of Stanley the Power
Like
Tool.
the
I actually think that's
power
pretty funny.
drill.
I think that's pretty funny. I can't lie. And what do you think's better, dude? Clint Eastwood, yeah, I fucked him, or Robin Leach, yeah, I fucked him. I think it's Clint Eastwood, obviously.
Clint Eastwood for sure, man, because I mean, it's fucking Clint Eastwood.
I mean, he plays hard to get to. That's kind of what he does. And for the most part, I think
Hard
this
to get or
flick
hard
was
to watch.
that's the dilemma here. But he does end up on the what's a better ending here, where they end up on the yacht, or at the end of Trading Places, where they're kind of like on the beach in the yacht? Because they feel very like that feels like the same ending to me. But I love them both.
Yeah, either way, man. I mean, good shout out Trading Places, and yeah, man, fuck, it'll work either way. And and you had the fucking koala bear, so.
Oh, the koala bear, very good. Like, just a fun runner, right? Like, I
Fun
think
run
this
for
is a flick
sure.
that has a lot of great ideas. It just doesn't quite coalesce into being like a classic, but I think for the most part, it takes enough chances that it's just fun.
No, it's definitely fun, dude. It's always been. This is a movie that I've seen like when leading up to this, I was like, I want to watch it before we talk about it, but I've probably seen it in the past, like I'd say maybe 3 years or so. I probably, give or take, I've probably seen it. Like this is on my whenever it comes up and I'm in the mood, I'm like, dude, that's a good one. And I've seen it a lot in the past also because I remember having the DVD of course down the line and shit of it, and it was in a rotation because it's just a fun movie. It's good to have on hand if you want to just. It's a fun movie to put on, dude. I mean, I'm not saying fucking watch it on repeat or anything, but it's in the rotation of like
Yeah, it's a,
bunch of fucking
it's a,
movies. It's good to throw on once in a while. And for me, I want to say it still lives up right now, even though everything's different because it was how many years ago and shit. Like, but it still holds up for what it is, and I like that about it too because it's always going to be what it is. It's like it is what it is, dude, and it's fucking good. So it doesn't need to change
yeah, it's
anything.
kind of like a slice of that particular point in time in the early '90s of exactly
Right.
what life was, for better or worse. And that's the time when you would wear the cow print vest or whatever and do what you got to do and drink Sambuca milkshakes. And perhaps if you did
Now
that,
we got
you
to
could
remember this is before cell phones and shit. So this is definitely pre-modern technology, man.
yeah, which I think definitely helps for flicks, honestly. Like now,
I
how
prefer
many
it
flicks would be
sometimes.
torn apart if like, oh, why don't they just call somebody or whatever? So I always get the idea set them early, but they didn't need to do that. They just did it because that's when they were setting the flick in. Soup. we need to figure out exactly where we stand on Ford Fairlane. My guess is we will be high on it, but we need to decide officially. We do that by deciding the sponge worthiness of the flick in honor of Elaine Bennis.
So you think you're sponge worthy?
Yes, I think I'm sponge-worthy. I think I'm very sponge-worthy.
You know you're nuts with these sponges.
Run down your case for me again.
She said I wasn't sponge-worthy. Wouldn't waste a sponge on me.
She's our girl. That's a system. We have sponges to give, sponges to take. You can only give a full sponge or not give a sponge. Those are the options. Soup, right now you have 1.5 sponges. I have 6.5. It's easy for me. I can declare this one worthy. I have plenty of sponges to spare. How about yourself, man? Are you going to spare the full sponge here for the Adventures of Ford Fairlane?
Dude, I am not fucking sponge wealthy, but I'm definitely giving Ford Fairlane a fucking sponge because this is a classic for me, man. Since this movie came out, I've been a fan, dude, and I've never not been like it never really fell short, So it's been consistent. It's I'd like to say it's been a part of my growing up. It's been a part of my life. Yeah. So no, just kidding, man. But I'm not. But anyway, yeah, fucking sponge worthy, dude.
1-800-UNBELIEVABLE. Well, it's not enough. We've determined it is worthy. Shout out Wayne and Garth, but we also need to give it a grade here. So everything we grade on Regular Dudes Watch Stuff, we do so in the value of space bucks. That's our deal, 0 to 100 space bucks. Soup, what do you think here? 0 to 100 space bucks. How many are you handing out for the Adventures of Ford Fairlane?
Now, I feel like this movie came out in 1990. Maybe I matched that and give it the 90 space bucks. And that's probably what I would have done. But then I looked back a second time and said, you know what? This movie's kind of been there with me for a while, man. It's always kind of been a good friend, man. So I'm going to go ahead and put it all the way up to the 95. I'm going to give it 5 more for that, dude, just for hanging in there the entire time. It's been solid the entire time, man. 95 space bucks.
95. 95.
Booty time, dude.
That's booty time. 95. I like that. I'm going to stick with the 5, but I am going to go with 85. I like it. I enjoy it. 85 should be a good grade, Soup. I would be very happy to take home a report card of 85s, but I do think there was more potential here. Had be it if they lean more into the dice of it all, maybe tighten a couple of things up. Really enjoy it. Nothing wrong with it. You should most definitely check it out. But I'm going 85. Soup's going 95. That still gives us an average of 90, which is a lot of space bucks. Well enough to get your gas and tolls, get you home, although gas prices are rising. And we still have a couple of things on deck. We are going to do Heathers. We're doing the 3rd season of House of the Dragon. We're doing the 5th season of The Boys. But, Soup, we still need to kind of pick one other thing out here. We have some options here, or we can just throw them on a wheel. We could do a couple things. What are you thinking? Right now, the options I have on the table are Jackie Brown, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Clue, the movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Airheads, Slapshot, and Back to School. Do any of those stick out to you?
Slapshot sticks out right now because it's hockey. Jackie Brown's always been on our fucking we're gonna do it list. But I'm gonna add one to the equation here, man.
Add it up.
If you don't mind. Let me throw one in, add it up.
Violent Femmes, dude, add it up.
Yeah, like one. Yeah, all right, hold on. I'm gonna add it up. I really think that we should do The Jerk, dude. I want to go classic Steve Martin's first movie, 1979 or 7, whatever the fuck it was. The Jerk.
That's 79, yeah. The Jerk's great, dude.
The Jerk is a fucking great movie that I haven't seen in a hot minute. We still haven't done Holy Grail. That's another one right there. Like an older movie that was revolutionary and groundbreaking. But Steve Martin's The Jerk is where I'm going right now to add to the list. And if you have room for another one,
that Holy Grail should definitely be on there. So we are cool with that. So that'll. But dude,
The Jerk just has so many things about it. Like I really feel like we need to discuss that one. It's just everything in that movie, from front to back, is a discussion point.
Steve Martin might be the absolute king of deadpan. Like he's so good at like when he. And to this day, like he is literally probably the king of deadpan. So
So if we're gonna
right.
pick out a thermos, I'm picking out a thermos.
All right, so we're gonna spin a wheel. We're gonna throw all these joints on a wheel. We're gonna spin it, and we're gonna eventually talk about the joint that comes up. We have Jackie Brown, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Clue the movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Airheads, Slapshot, Back to School, The Jerk, and Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Honestly, I'd probably just take it if we got it, but that's how it works. Soup, we've got some options on the wheel. We are just going to trust the wheel in the sky, deliver it home to us. Here we go. We're spinning.
Spin it, dude. Sit and spin. Neil and Bob, dude.
We're spinning. Neil and Bob. Neil and... Oh, Neil and Brown. Neil and Brown.
Uh-oh. Is that where we're landing? Jackie Brown. I'm down.
Jackie Brown, we're down.
I've been wanting to get into Jackie Brown for a minute, dude. We're gonna have fun with this one. I mean, this is a great fucking movie, and I think it kind of fell under. I think it kind of got swept under the rug a little bit, dude. So I'd love to bring this one out.
So we have decided we are doing Jackie Brown. I think we are both infinitely happy about that, right? We've been waiting for an excuse to do it, and this is, I think, just so underrated, right? Especially in terms of Tarantino flicks.
Dude, I think so too, man. This is one that I hope I'm ready for the rewatch. I know I'm gonna love the rewatch. I know I'm gonna love talking about it, and I hope that anybody checking this out inspires them to go and revisit it, or if you haven't seen it, see it again, because that is definitely probably, I would say, maybe one of, if not one of, then the most underrated Tarantino flick, man. I mean, I am stoked about it. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. And there's a lot of layers. I mean, it's Tarantino. It's one of his best fucking movies, I think. You know, I mean, it's one of his legit movies, that's for sure. You know,
Theoretically, it's also interconnected to a lot of things. Like, yeah, it's a great one. So we are going to be getting down with Jackie Brown, and thank you for getting down with Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. We will be here watching stuff and talking about it. Thank you for joining us while we do so. You can find our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff and on the web at dudeswatchstuff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like those flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe if you had fun. Please remember to touch the thumb. I'm Magna Mills here with the Soup Deucer on behalf of ourselves and Jamie G. Thanks for checking out the show. See you next time.
The dudes abide. Oh.
You're okay, Johnny. It's to you.
Sucking my dick.
Let me get out of here.
Man, I'm listening. Booty time, across the USA. Booty time, yeah.
Ford, isn't Sam great? Do you want to come out with us?
I can. Anybody see my assistant, Jazz?
She left. Said something about you being a real asshole.